Shred the mic!
Thank you so much, guys. It is so good to be back shredding the mic for you guys at home and also for you. And of course, Remy, my sweet boy.
This guy.
Making his cameo. See?
Cameo.
See, she's the wordsmith. Side note, already derailing my material. This is what it's like being a stand-up. This is like basically crowd work for me. Remy, my sweet boy, he crashes all of my video calls for my work job to the point where he is now almost more important than the creative producer and director of pieces, because they're just like, oh, what does Remy have to say? I'm like, get out of here. You're stealing my thunder, kid. I'm pitching concepts and jokes. So I was having this thought that there's only really two good excuses for questionable behavior throughout your entire life. And it really depends on what year you were born. It's either, it was the 70s, or that's show business, baby. And it all depends whether you were born before or after 1979. All of my parents' questionable parenting decisions can be attributed to, it was the 70s. And I totally don't blame them. Driving around in a sketchy Karmann Ghia that was like known to like cause accidents and kill its inhabitants if it ever got into an accident. It was the 70s, dude. That's what we did. You know, like we have a little child in the back. It was the 70s. We didn't have seatbelts, right? I learned that like in the 70s, it was always, my parents around there were like, it was all about free love. It was about like hitchhiking, no seatbelts, just super casual coke use and, a whole lot of like anonymous sex, right? And of course, the obvious fashion choice, it was the 70s, is a perfect excuse for everything. But if you were born after that, that show business is a perfectly good excuse as well. All of my questionable choices can definitely be explained by that show business, baby. For example, my fashion choices between 2000 and 2003, when I was basically a raver, that's show business, baby. The entire emo scene look that was popular with like the swoopy black hair and like bangs and lots of guy liner, that's show business, baby. My choice to avoid therapy for years and instead go to the gym / take up MMA, that's show business, baby. And of course, performing improv comedy for 20 years, that's show business, baby. What you gonna do?
Oh, yeah.
So there it is. Your only two answers for if anyone ever questions any of your choices are, it was the 70s, or that's show business, baby. Oh, so I'm working on a horror comedy script called Coblins, about sentient corn goblins, right? Obviously, right? That come to life, that come back, and they're trying to take over their rightful spot in the universe. It's basically a treatise on like GMOs and big agriculture, but it's also a pretty funny ass horror script. Well, based off of that, in conversations we had at the dinner table, we were talking about how giant the crows are in Los Angeles, right? And how scary they are.
And here.
So I've been working on a sequel to Coblins about AI-powered crows called Crowbots. Crowbots is basically about my fear of singularity, right? Where robotics and AI are coming together at this like point of basically no return. And also giant ass crows. So Crowbots is the spiritual sequel to Coblins, and I can't wait to explore that script. I'm planting my flag now, and hopefully that's coming up. Okay, other things I wanted to talk about. I had my this note in here that I really wanted to bring back breakfast parties.
Ooh.
Right? And so here's what I'm thinking. You guys have heard about Daybreaker, right?
Yes.
At least pre-pandemic, Daybreaker was this awesome thing where you would do like an hour of yoga or fitness, and then you would dance for 2 hours, all before work, and like you do it all sober. Well, I was like, that's a great idea, but sometimes I just need a simpler execution, right? I just want to eat breakfast with my friends 2 hours before work in a party-like setting where we just like go around like sampling food, almost like a food truck situation, like a farmer's market thing.
Ooh.
Right? And I was coming up with some names about like what I want these breakfast parties to be like.
Okay.
And so the first one that came to mind was Stacked. Like, hey, come on, babe, do you want to go to Stacked on Thursday?
Yes.
Hell yeah, you do, of course. The next one that I really liked was We've Got the Brunchies. Even though it's officially a sober event, we got the brunchies. It's pretty good. That's good. Thanks a brunch. You know,
Also
that's another
good.
one. It's a little bit more gratitude inspired, but I think it would carry well. Right. And lastly, for all you coffee goblins like myself, life is beautiful.
Oh, perfect timing. That was 5 minutes.
And that's my time. Thank you so much, everybody.
Woo!
What up, guys? It's Zeke. Thank you so much for watching the last video. And if you enjoyed it, please consider supporting my Patreon so that we can keep this thing going video after video. Y'all rip. Thanks.